Hey everyone, how's it going? So it's no secret that I've been doing solo runs on my channel for quite a while, and some of them I try to go pretty fast. But so far, the fastest I've been able to do is 3 hours and 3 minutes of in-game time by Mewtwo. And that just wasn't good enough for me. I wanted to see just how low I could get the time, and yes, trying to do the Mewtwo run in under 2 hours was my ultimate goal. You might be wondering, how the heck are you going to shave over an hour off a pretty decent run? Well, that's where this video comes in, because I've been practicing on my Twitch channel, and using a variety of new strategies, I've been able to get some pretty decent runs. My best up to this point was 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 14 seconds. So already about 50 minutes I was able to save. And for those of you who are unaware of the rules of my solo runs, these speedruns follow the exact same rules. No glitches of any kind are allowed, and I'm not allowed to use any items in trainer battles. So it's like every single trainer battle is a multiplayer battle. And that's why, even with Mewtwo as my starter, sub 2 hours seemed pretty unrealistic. Even the greatest speedrunners with items are usually in the 150 mark. So for me to get within 10 minutes of that, especially at my skill level, and having to do an entire extra section of the game, I was pretty doubtful. But hey, I thought it'd be a fun challenge, and as you could see, I already got pretty close. And you might be wondering, as we get through the beginning parts of the game, how was I able to shave so much time off of my original solo run? Well, I've mentioned in some of my videos, but my solo runs are performed at 4 times speed on a clone console known as the Retron 5. Because I was making so many videos so quickly, it was just a way to save time, and the reason I have kept using it is because, and you'll notice by my movement, it is way easier to move, shockingly, at single speed. And it's funny, having to learn to do all these tricks at 4 times speed, I felt like that episode of Dragon Ball where Goku and Krillin take off their shells, and they can jump like 1,000 feet. It really was nice to play the game at its original speed. That being said, how would I save that extra 10 plus minutes? Well, one thing I needed to get was good luck. And Route 1 already has a pretty lucky section. You see, I need to walk through grass, and until we get to Vermilion City, we can't buy repels. So, ideally, I would like about 3 encounters total. And there's a lot of trips. I have to go up to Viridian, down, back to Pallet, although I don't walk in the grass too much, and then I have to walk back up to Viridian to go through the forest. In my previous best, I got pretty good luck, getting only 3 encounters total. This time, however, I didn't get quite the same amount of luck, getting 1 extra encounter, and with Mewtwo's very long cry, each encounter costs me about 10 to 16 seconds, depending on what Pokemon it's against. That being said, an extra encounter in Route 1 will not make or break the run. What can help tremendously is something we'll find out after I defeat the mandatory bug catcher. We obviously skipped the first 2 in Viridian Forest, and I should mention Viridian Forest is pretty buggy. This isn't a glitch, this is the fact the developers forgot to program encounters on many of the tiles, and thankfully we know what tiles those are, and by following this path, I dramatically lower the chance of getting encounters, and I'd end up getting none. That's really good. Once I beat this bug catcher though, I want to look at my Mewtwo special, its most important stat. If I see a special of 23, I have a terrible Mewtwo and I need to reset. There is about an 85% chance it'll have a special of 24, and I don't really know if it's a good or bad Mewtwo yet. However, what I really want, and what I got, was a special of 25. This made me pretty nervous because by seeing I had a special of 25, and with only 4 encounters between Viridian Forest and Route 1, I knew this had potential of being a pretty great run. And by the way, if you want to watch the run unedited with my original commentary, it's both available on my Twitch channel, and it will be uploaded to my second channel, JRose12, so you can hear what was going through my head at the time. But yeah, we're gonna head to the Pokemart, buy some Pokeballs for some Pokemon we're gonna need, and then we're gonna face Brock. Now, Brock is pretty easy. Geodude will be a 2-hit KO, even if I were to get a critical hit. However, Onix is where I can get really lucky. If I have 25 special, there is a chance that I can get a critical hit and want to KO the Onix. And sure enough... Alright, Bide is unlucky. We don't want to see it. Yo! We do want to see that! It happened. That will be a time save off my previous personal best, and if you look at the plus-minus column, you can see how much faster I am than that attempt, and you'll notice I still lost time even with that luck. There are two reasons for that. One, the extra encounter, and two, I decided to go to the Pokemart first, which does save a little bit of time. And with that comes the luckiest part of the run. No, not the trainers on Route 3, they're pretty good. Although I did discover that it is indeed faster to battle the bug catcher that typically you'll avoid in speedruns. The reason they'll avoid them in regular speedruns is that most Pokemon it'll take multiple hits to knock out the Caterpie, Weedle, etc. However, Mewtwo, it's a 1-hit KO for all of them. So even though the bug catcher has 2 more Pokemon than the last, it is faster because for the last, you actually have to walk back to Pewter and go back on Route 3, which you may have seen me do in some of my videos to get her to move back to her original position. But that's not the lucky part. The lucky part is whether we can catch the Pokemon we need. Well, that's the first element of it. The first Pokemon we need is a bird of any kind, whether it be a Pidgey or a Spearow. Coming up, Mount Moon. Come on! Yes! Come on, don't be Jigglypuff, don't be Jigglypuff. Perfect bird. It is a Spearow. I'm worried we will knock it out, so I'm going to throw a ball at it. Okay, we need 3 balls. First ball. Now, as I said in that clip, although it would waste time, I can use a maximum of 3 Pokeballs on the Spearow. The reason being, there is another Pokemon we're going to catch in Mount Moon, a Paris. Paris is one of the most useful HM Pokemon in Generation 1, because it can learn Cut as well as Dig, and Generation 1 has quite a few areas you can dig out of that you may not expect, so having a Pokemon with Dig saves tons of time. Unfortunately, in addition to trying to find the Paris, we also need to make it through Mount Moon without too many encounters. And I actually changed my strategy up from my previous personal best. Ordinarily, and you may have seen this in some of my solo runs, although I routinely do cut it out, usually what I do is go towards the right end of Mount Moon, and I pick up both the rare candy and the escape rope. Unfortunately, even though there's a way to manipulate the RNG or random numbers in Pokemon, in order to try and make this category a little more accessible, because that manipulation is actually extremely difficult, I did not use any of that in this run, which also makes it more like a run you could have theoretically had as a kid back in the 90s, so long as you had a Game Shark to change a starter into Mewtwo, which was an actual code that I did know back then. But anyway, because I avoid the rare candy, it does end up saving quite a bit of time, because by walking way less in Mount Moon, there are less chances for encounters. While theoretically, that makes it less likely I'll encounter a Paris, but in reality, Paris is so much more likely on the first and second basement floors, and like I said, every encounter costs like 10 seconds or so, so cutting out the walking in Mount Moon makes a huge difference. And where you'll really see this difference is when you see me split after Rival 2. For those of you not sure what those splits on the left mean, they're arbitrary points I break up the run to see how it's going. If the split is red, it means I'm slower than my previous attempt. If the split is green, it means I'm faster. And if the split is gold, it means it's as fast as I've ever done that segment in any run, even ones I did not complete. And there were plenty I did not complete. In theory, Rival 2 could be a reason I won't complete a run. But before I talk about Rival 2, I should address the question, why Rival 2 before Misty? While Mewtwo is a very powerful Pokemon, its best move, even against Starmie, a Psychic type, is Psychic. And it takes quite a few hits to knock out Starmie, even after we battle Rival 2 and all the trainers on the way to Bill's house. And you'll see what I mean in just a few minutes, but imagine what it would be like if I battled Misty first. It seriously wouldn't have worked out. Anyway, Rival 2, I really would like a critical hit against Pidgeotto because it can use Sand Attack. Thank goodness it does not use Sand Attack, and I'm able to knock it out Confusion. We'll talk a second why I switched to Confusion there. Abra is pretty easy. Unfortunately, unless you have Perfect Attack, Swift is a 2-hit KO, but it's not a big deal. Abra can only use Teleport. The third Pokemon is Rattata. Rattata can use Quick Attack, which would technically waste a little bit of time. Confusion is enough to knock out Rattata, even without a critical hit, so that's all well and good. Squirtle, however, will always be a 2-hit KO, but because my special is so high, I'm not really scared of it attacking me. So to save our Psychic power points, we'll just simply use 2 Confusions. Psychic is 90 base power, and Confusion is 50 base power, and so a critical hit Confusion does do more damage than Psychic, and it would be enough to knock out Squirtle. We don't get one, and in fact, I got a poor enough roll on my initial Confusion that I got worried and used Psychic. It's not a massive deal to use an extra power point. I do have a few to spare, and that's rival number 2. You can see my reaction to that gold split. I am now 58 seconds ahead of where I was in that 2-minute and 10-second run, and I like to see that. If we're going to try and shave another 10 minutes off this run, being a minute ahead so early on, it's a good sign. And in order to shave off time, one thing we don't do very much in this run is heal. Ideally, we would heal as little as we possibly can, although I did heal a couple extra times. It wastes a little bit of time each time you do that though. So the less you heal, the faster you go. Pretty common sense. None of the Pokemon on these routes are any kind of challenge at all. Many of them are in fact poison type, and you actually have enough Psychic power points to knock out all the Pokemon that aren't. And with that, you can theoretically make it through this route without ever taking any damage. I'm not going to get too into detail, but if you got really lucky and took a bunch of damage during the rival fight, you'd be at low enough health that that annoying alert sound would play. In Red and Blue, that alert sound cancels out a lot of the other sounds and actually makes a lot of battles faster. And knowing this, I decide to be a little sneaky versus the Mankey trainer and intentionally make the fight take a little bit longer to get into what is known as Red Bar. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure how much time that saved me, but I did want to try that strategy, and it definitely didn't end up costing me too much time, so I don't think it was a bad idea. But one way you could improve this run by a bit is being in that Red Bar as much as possible. The one big downside is that if you get hit by Quick Attack, you might faint, and that would be really bad. But thankfully that didn't happen to me here. Alright, so let's skip ahead and get to the Misty battle. It really isn't too difficult. Staryu is a 1-hit KO, and Starmie theoretically is a 4-hit KO. Unfortunately, I get a 1 in 256 chance of a Generation 1 miss is what they're called. And that's awful because my power points are actually on a very strict schedule. And losing an extra Psychic is not what I wanted. This would cause a bunch of problems, including the Misty fight being slower, since I had to switch to Confusion because I absolutely could not waste another Psychic when I needed them a little bit later. We're actually not going to heal until after we battle Lieutenant Surge, so we need all 10 of those Psychic power points. We used 1 on Goldeen, 1 that hit on Starmie, and then the 1 that missed, so we're already up to 4, and I would like at least 2 left for Lieutenant Surge. Having said all this, the battle with Misty herself is not problematic. I've never lost a run to it. And we can move on to something that has cost me quite a bit of time. The Team Rocket trainer. Yeah, never really talk about him. But he has a Machop and a Drowsy. In my 210 run, the Drowsy put me to sleep with Hypnosis. A mere 60% chance that it would hit. On top of the mere 25% chance or 33% chance. Not sure how many moves it has. Regardless, it was a very unlucky turn of events. And my Mewtwo stayed asleep like 5 turns, which isn't even possible in later generations. Thus, I knew I could save a ton of time if Drowsy didn't put me to sleep, and it didn't. I was definitely very, very excited to see that, because I knew that would save me quite a bit of time. And with that, we can head to Vermilion City, Finally buy repels, which will eliminate the randomness of wild Pokemon for the most part, and head on to the SSN. Now, to get Body Slam or to not get Body Slam? That was the question. In my previous personal best, I opted to skip Body Slam and stay at minimum battles. In this run, I opted to get Body Slam. Funny enough, on speedrun.com, there is a category extension that does use Mewtwo and does a solo run. However, that run uses items, so it wasn't a perfect comparison. That being said, the fact they go out of their way to get Body Slam, it's not too out of your way. You just have to go into that room, battle one trainer and his Nidoran, and then it's yours. That actually will save time against Rival 3, because Kadabra goes from a 2-hit KO to a 1-hit KO, and hopefully Body Slam will do a little bit more damage than the normal move I usually would get, Tri Attack, which isn't available until Celadon. Now, ordinarily, I wouldn't even talk about Rival 3 because the strategy would be Psychic, Psychic, Body Slam, Psychic, and hope you don't get hit by Quick Attack too much. Unfortunately, since I wasted more Psychics than I wanted to against Misty, I had to use Confusion against Raticate, and it just missed knocking it out. Very, very, very annoying. And my HP is a little low for Lieutenant Surge. I could theoretically buy a potion if I really wanted to, but that would be slow, and I cannot heal in Vermilion. If I do, what I'm about to do next won't work. But I'm not even necessarily as worried about Lieutenant Surge's battle as I am about the trash cans. The trash cans in Red and Blue are luckily kind of easy to figure out. There are only certain cans that can be the first can, and the second cans are all predetermined, except for whatever reason, there is a 50% chance the second can is the top left. Luckily though, which cans are the ones you need to select persist even if you save and reset. So my strategy is to find the first can as quick as possible, save, and then go to the can that can be the second can. If it's right, hooray. In this case, it was wrong. And that happened in my personal best. That's okay, we just quickly reset, go to the top left, and now we can battle Lieutenant Surge. And Lieutenant Surge has actually ended a couple of my runs due to incredibly bad luck. But he is a little bit worrying with 27 HP. And this is why I got a safety potion in the PC right at the beginning of the game, so I could heal just in case. Now, under normal circumstances, this battle would be trivial. However, because I have to use Confusion, it won't want to KO the Voltorb, and it can use Sonic Boom, which thank goodness it doesn't do, and we can knock it out with another Confusion. Pikachu will be a 1-hit KO, goes for Quick Attack, which wastes just a tiny bit of time, but that's not too big a deal. The Raichu is scary. I've been paralyzed, not moved, and lost 2 runs to this darn Raichu. I would have loved a critical hit, which I don't get, but thankfully Surge goes for Thunder Shock, not Thunderbolt, and I don't get paralyzed. You can see real life me getting pretty excited. I'm not sure what that victory fist bump was. Let's call it the swatting a fly slightly to my right, but I was pretty nervous about Lieutenant Surge having lost a couple runs. And hey, even though I didn't have the best Misty split, this run is still going incredibly well. In fact, at the very bottom of the screen, that number in gold shows you that I've done this segment 25 seconds faster. That is with getting Body Slam. So clearly, I've improved my movement. Even with that slight menuing mistake where I accidentally hit items. I've done that in solo runs too. Listen, when you're trying to menu fast, you might hit A a little early. It happens. And it will happen a fair bit throughout this run. You just kind of have to get better. Speaking of which, we're about to save a bunch of time here. Because I did something unbelievably ridiculous in my previous personal best. I forgot to use the bike. No, I didn't forget the bike voucher, and I didn't even forget to get the bike, which I have done before. I just didn't use it, and the reason I don't use it in any of my solo runs, at 4 times speed, even though the bike is faster, it is so hard to control, it actually ends up losing me time. A lot of you comment on the fact that in my solo runs, I'll routinely walk into walls. Well, yeah, playing at 4 times speed will do that to you. But hey, we're at single speed, so the bike is definitely necessary. And you might notice I don't have a split here. Previously, my split was at Erika, which you'll notice is 35 minutes away. Yeah, there was quite a bit of game in between, so I decided to add a split for the Rocket Hideout. And before I talk about that, let's just quickly talk about something in Rock Tunnel. In Rock Tunnel, we're using repels, and one thing I learned is that if you use the next repel before the previous repel expires, you won't get that annoying text box saying, well, that the repel had expired. So shoutouts to Wartab for teaching me that, as well as several other very nifty tricks. But what I do want to mention is everyone's favorite NPC. Yes, even in this run, we have to deal with the hiker with the 2 Geodudes and a Graveler. But J-Rose, why would that be a problem? You're a Mewtwo, just use Psychic. Well, guess who didn't heal? And yes, this was intentional. Like I said, healing as little as possible saves a ton of time. And so I was kind of misleading. I said I wouldn't heal till after Lieutenant Surge, but in reality, you don't end up using a Pokemon Center until Celadon. And so that means I need to use Confusion again, and I'm even starting to run out of power points for that. And I knew this hiker could end the run if it used Self-Destruct, and I'm just gonna let past me take it away. Crit or Defense Curl, Crit or Defense Curl, Crit or Defense Curl. We didn't need the crit, this Mewtwo's good enough special, we're good. My words probably didn't express what my face did. Just how happy I was that Mewtwo knocked it out. It meant my Mewtwo had exceptional special, and it meant that we probably could get a very decent run. How decent? Well, I wouldn't end up knowing that until after we beat Erika. And there's really very little to talk about in between then, funny enough. That said, I will go over essentially what I do here. So I do have to battle a few more trainers, including either the Gambler or I believe it's a Lass with 2 Clefairy. I battled the Lass because I was at low HP and didn't have any more power points. I do have Thunderbolt at this point, which is a pretty decent attack, and we're going to get Ice Beam pretty soon. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're going to go to Celadon, and we're going to heal. There's a bunch of reasons, but we need health, we need power points. Healing good. Then we're going to go to Rocket Game Corner. I pick up power points up, which really only helps in this next part, or if you get really bad luck, so it's not a bad idea for safety. We're then going to battle all the trainers we need to and beat Giovanni. None of them are too difficult. I did minorly mess up forgetting to use Confusion, because we're not going to heal after we beat Giovanni. We are going to go to the Pokemart. We're going to buy 3 Calciums, which uses up almost all of our money. We're going to buy 2 Fresh Waters. 1 for Ice Beam, 1 to get into Saffron. We're then going to bike. We're going to go and get the HM for Fly. And then we're going to fly to Lavender. Now we're going to battle Rival number 4, where I made another mistake. I don't even really need to narrate Rival 4. He's pretty easy. Basically, my mistake was I used Psychic against Wartortle when I should have used Thunderbolt. The reason this is a problem is that there is a Ghastly that is coming up, in fact 2 of them, and I need 2 Psychics left after Rival 4. I would have had that, but I was thinking ahead to other things. This does happen from time to time, even during my solo runs, but thankfully, I did plan ahead. There is a hidden Max Ether just to the right of Rock Tunnel, the exit near Lavender, and I pick it up just in case. And even though we really only need 1 power point, it made a difference, and we're easily able to get through the tower, no problems whatsoever. And now we're going to go battle Erika. Another advantage of speedrunning, I don't forget to battle Erika. Erika is extremely, extremely easy. You have to beat the trainer with an Execute, but a single Ice Beam will knock it out. And then Erika's Pokemon can be knocked out with Psychic, Ice Beam, and Psychic respectively. But what I wanted to know is how much faster was I now that I used the bike and slightly better strategy? 3 minutes and 30 seconds. That is a massive gold split. And it's actually going to get a little bit better, because you'll notice I don't have splits for Rival Fivel or Koga. In my previous attempt, I did Koga first, which while safer, is slower. In this attempt, right after Erika, I'm going to head to Saffron and battle Rival Fivel. this battle can go pretty badly. In my attempt I did for the channel, I ended up losing this battle, which is why I did Koga first in my first speedrun. But I knew this would be faster, and truth is, as good as narration Gyros is, live Gyros, you got this one. Let's see how Rival 5 went. But, alright, now I'm going to be focusing on this battle because this... Oh gosh, please don't sand attack. Please don't sand attack. Thank you, RNG. You had to taunt me there, game. You had to taunt me there. But all right. That was a Gen 1 miss. That is what they So Growlithe is not a 1-hit KO, so it's a range. That's unfortunate. Now, if this is not a 1-hit KO, then this is a bad strat. Okay. Okay, we should be good. Ooh, oh, okay, disable failed. Okay, this is good. This is very good, guys. This is very good. Blastoise can't do all that much. Now that was a pretty muted response, even by my standards. And the reason? I was genuinely nervous. You'll see me chewing my tongue, a bit of a nervous habit I'm trying to break. As I'm watching back the footage, the deeper we're going in this run, the more tongue chewing I see. And the more muted my responses get, because I don't want to get too excited if this run inevitably either fails at some point or falls short of our 2-hour goal. But now we got a pretty chill part of the run. One more trainer. We're going to go and beat Giovanni. I do go a little bit out of my way to get a rare candy, but I do think that will help with some ranges just a little bit later. And then I'm going to fly back to Celadon, bike to Cycling Road, and now all I have to do is avoid the first trainer, stay on the left-hand side, and we should be good. Yeah, I like that you can dig out of Sabrina's gym as well. Her gym is really annoying to traverse. That look says it all. Funny enough, the controller I've been using for my solo runs is the Super Nintendo controller that I owned when I was a kid. So suffice to say, the D-pad sometimes, even when you're only pushing on the down arrow of the D-pad, if you accidentally push towards the right-hand side, sometimes you'll veer right. And I veered right into a trainer. I did get a level up though, and I decided to go with it. I mean, a level up is good, it should help with some damage ranges, and there's an extra rare candy in Victory Road that I would usually get that I will now skip, hopefully saving time. In addition, I would save a lot of time if Body Slam combined with that extra level would 1-hit KO some of the Drowsy that I have to battle in this next section. Well, it would come really close, but it was just a range. Very frustrating. In fact, perhaps it would be advantageous to use an extra rare candy right here to make those ranges better, and I don't think I had the best attack. So that's very unfortunate. Having said that, I do obviously 1-hit KO the Kadabra and knock out the third Drowsy in one hit. So it still ended up being a little bit of a time save, and thank goodness Koga himself shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now, if you look under where it says Pokemon Blue, it says Mewtwo, no trainer battle items, glitchless, and then 1 out of 30. 1 is how many runs I've actually completed, 30 are my number of attempts. My second longest attempt made it to Koga. And it was when I did Koga before Rival 5, Wheezing actually wasn't a 1-hit KO with Psychic, use self-destruct, and yep, run over. With that extra level and the extra levels we get from Rival Fivel and Silph Company, Koga is absolutely free, which is exactly what I like to see, so that's awesome. I would like to know if I've been saving any time over my previous runs, but looks like we'll have to wait approximately 20 minutes or so for when we battle Blaine. Before we do that though, we need the HM for Surf. Another reason that Silph Company is faster if we go to it first, we already have Lapras. And that means once we get Surf, we can dig out of the Safari Zone, go into the Warden's house, and we can use Strength and pick up a rare candy, which will help with damage ranges later on in the run. So now it's time to surf to Blaine's. And here's the funny thing. I usually don't repel or didn't repel here in my solo runs, but have started doing so just in case. And I didn't used to repel because you never get encounters. I use a repel, and I get an encounter. In Gen 1, encounter rates in the water are very low, and the chance you get a level 40 tentacle is like astronomically low. In fact, it's the first time I've seen one in a really long time. And like I said, I never use repels. Of course. This problem persists in the Pokemon Mansion where there are Muck and Magmar, which I actually do encounter. The first Magmar I've encountered in a really long time. Thankfully, Magmar was my only encounter, and I was actually able to make it through the Pokemon Mansion in what felt like a really short amount of time. I'll note that I didn't pick up Blizzard. I like Blizzard in Generation 1 for its 120 base power, and its pretty respectable 90% accuracy. With a Mewtwo though, I really feel like Ice Beam is good enough, and I just didn't want to risk the 10% chance Blizzard would miss. I'm hoping I don't regret that. Anyway, finally, it's time for a new split. We're gonna battle Blaine. Take it away, past J-Rose. So now the big question is whether Body Slam, because I want it to be up 10 minutes after Blaine. Obviously, that's not going to happen. We're not going to be up 10 minutes. Ooh. We knocked out the Growlithe in one hit. Yo. That Muck battle coming in clutch. If we get a crit here, that would be so clutch. Yeah, TM28 is dig. No! No! What a time loss. Come on, just be... Alright. Come on, 3. Okay, it's not the end of the world. Frustrating, but that special drop came in clutch. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, critical hit. Make up for that baloney with... Okay. Perfect. That cost me like 30 seconds. Alright, so we need to make up a minute more than that. I need to make up like 2 minutes, just to be safe. Yep, I just got a gold of 3 minutes 54 seconds. I am 8 minutes 41 seconds ahead of my personal best, which already was pretty decent, and I'm sitting there thinking about how I'm going to save more time. Unfortunately, there's not much time in this run left. Only a few more gym battles, and they're all pretty intense. And the big question is whether or not these will be 1-hit KOs. Kadabra, I knew would be a 1-hit KO. Mr. Mime, there was a question, but it was a 1-hit KO. Venomoth, Psychic will obviously 1-hit KO. And Alakazam got the critical hit. 42 seconds save. We're 9 minutes ahead. It's gonna be close. We only have a few trainers left. Giovanni, Rival 6, and the Elite 4. Let's see how Giovanni went. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. Yeah, those are really slow. That's 3. Maybe Muck is the strat. Like, guys, Muck might be the strat. Craziness. And is that 5 Maybe. I don't know. Again, that look says it all. 2 minute, 16 second gold. But do you want to know something funny? That wasn't the case. Like, at all. You see, in my personal best run, I was getting so nervous I forgot to split after Giovanni, and split twice after Rival 6. So that number actually should have been after Rival 6, not after Giovanni. So I'm not actually ahead by 11 minutes, and I didn't realize that at the time, but it didn't matter. I was determined to get this time as low as possible, and I knew a good way to do that. To use my rare candies before Rival 6. You see, as you may have heard me say, Muck is the strat. That extra trainer I battled on Cycling Road, it has beautifully worked out that I'm getting every range I missed in my personal best. They're probably not even ranges, and I level up immediately after Giovanni, so I can easily and efficiently rare candy before Rival 6, likely making that fight a heck of a lot faster. Let's see if it paid off. Okay, by rare candying before, I think everything is a 1-hit KO, and we obviously lost quite a bit of time with what just happened, but we will gain it back. No, I'm gonna use it. Everything should be a 1-hit KO now. Guys, this could be it. Holy poop on a stick. It's fine. Just don't lower my special. Okay, so Alakazam still was not a 1-hit KO. That's fine. But Blastoise was... Oh my gosh. This is gonna be close. This is gonna be so close. And yeah, it was gonna be close. I knew I had to get some really solid movement in Victory Road. There were some parts I actually forgot the bike for, so I knew I had some time to make up for my personal best, and I had some sloppy movement mistakes. Overall, I ended up having a pretty decent Victory Road, which, considering how nervous I was incredible. But at this point, I don't know if there's that much more for me to say. We're gonna go battle the Elite Four. We're either gonna win, or we're gonna lose. Or we're gonna take so long that it's not gonna be a sub 2-hour run. What will it be? Well, I don't think there's any way I could do justice to this run's conclusion, so I'm gonna let Live Gyros take it from here. You have to have you can't have any more Pokemon in your party. That's part of the rule of a solo challenge. That's always been part of the rules. I can't change it just because I want to go faster. I've always done that. Jinx can freeze me, and the run is over. So there's this is the scariest part of the run. I have no idea. This is a new route, so I'm at a slightly different level than I was last time. Blang blugga blugga blang blugga blugga blang blugga blugga. No attack. Thrash is perfect. Thrash is perfect. Lapras can also freeze, so we're hoping for a Hydro Pump here, or a crit on my end. Crit, crit, crit. No crit on my end. Body slam is fine so long as we don't get paralyzed. Okay. Let's go. So that was 29 seconds slower than my last time I did Loreley. So, take that for what it... That was that Nidoran. No, it wasn't. Wonder where I lost the time. Oh well. But I did all the rare candies last time. No, Bruno is not worth having a split. Bruno is free, Agatha's free, so long as we don't get... Maybe I had bad movement. Maybe I slowed down a bit more than I usually do, but 30 seconds is a long... Especially because I skipped the, Ooh, I think Guys, I think my Giovanni split was my Rival 6 split. I think that's what I did. I forgot to split... No, this should be easy. As long as we don't get a Gen 1 miss, this should be easy. Okay. There's no Gen 1 misses. This is fine. No worries. I'm not convinced this is done yet. I haven't planned for this level yet. We skipped 2 rare candies I usually get, but we were a level higher, so we should be -1. If I end up losing because of a range, I'll be pretty upset. I rare candies just before I entered the Victory Road to avoid encounters. Okay. Wow. Okay. So that's what I was talking about. I'm sorry, I had to interrupt there. Wow. Like, you have no idea just how annoyed I was that Gengar not only wasn't a 1 KO, but managed to get off that Confuse Ray. All I could think about is how if I just got those rare candies, that wouldn't have happened. It could have ruined my run. But hey, it didn't. And let's see how it went. You know what? Let's just do the Carbos. I'll be really pissed if Aerodactyl outspeeds me. Bit of a time waste, but... I don't have any more calciums. Do I have a calcium? I don't think I have a calcium. Actually, the run doesn't end until it goes to white in the Hall of Fame screen. Okay, that should be good. Yeah. Gen 1 misses can always occur. So we're losing time because of that extra menuing I did. Not surprising. Oh, also, the Gengar wasn't a 1-hit KO. That's why we lost time. Let's do it. Probably split late, Agatha. Ice Beam over Thunderbolt for freeze chance. If I get a special drop, the run, I think, is over. Executor can still put me to sleep. Arcanine can still use Takedown. Psychic's a long animation. I should have gone for Ice Beam. Or Thunderbolt. Come on. If I ever needed a clutch critical hit, it was right here. Or freeze. Barrage is slow, but if we get a 2-hitter, that's fine. Even if we get a 5-hitter, it's fine. Yeah, I agree. 5-hitter is fine. Bad level up. Crit, crit, crit. We need a crit. I'm mashing literally as fast as I can. Mash. Stop talking! Stop talking! I don't think I've ever mashed this fast in my life. Just give me the Hall of Fame! Have a shorter cry! Woohoo! Five-turn barrage. That was a gold split too. That's it. It's done. It's over. Thank you guys so much. I'm sorry. I was freaking out. That muck trainer might be a strat. After all that, even with the Gengar not being a 1-hit KO, even with the 5-turn barrage, we beat Pokemon without items, without glitches, in under 2 hours. I really didn't think it would be possible with any Pokemon, even Mewtwo. This category could still probably go lower, and I'm sure some of you guys could run this category way better than I ever could. But that's all I have to say. Didn't plan on making this video. I thought this would just be a fun thing that I would work on for the next few months. I didn't think that I would get a sub 2 hour time, especially after that 2 hour 10-minute time. I didn't think I'd be able to take 12 minutes off. Maybe 5, but 12? I was pretty proud. So, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, take care.